Welcome to A Better HR Business, the podcast that looks at how HR consultants and HR tech firms grow their businesses and how they help their employers to get the best out of their people. Remember, for show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Okay, let's get started.
Hi, I thought it might be useful to run you through the HR Business Accelerator because I talk about it, but people may not actually know what it is. So in a nutshell, the HR Business Accelerator helps people who are running or plan to start a business in the HR industry to help them grow it and make it more successful, make it happen easier, more enjoyable, all that sort of stuff. So firstly, when I say HR, I mean generalist HR, recruitment, learning and development, compensation and benefits, diversity, inclusion and belonging, anything within that sphere, employee engagement, etc. So what it does is it works specifically with businesses in the HR space, and that may be either as consultants or products such as training, resources, courses, things like that, or it might be software. But it's only ever in the HR space. And it's very cool. We've had hundreds of people through that we've helped around the world to successfully grow their businesses in the HR space. And it's structured around a core process, which has sort of 5 main pillars. But before I get to that, I should probably explain who are the types of people that would join or why they would join. There are some common elements, and there are things that, where people differ. And that's kind of the beauty of the way we've sort of structured the program itself, the accelerator. So the people who want to join the HR Business Accelerator, they join because they want to create a business that's either profitable, makes good money. If they're doing consulting, then they get good projects, great clients, enjoyable stuff, maybe work-life balance, or they want to build a team or gain a reputation within the business community. So there are all sorts of themes where some people are interested in one aspect more than another. There are also things that people want to avoid, that they don't want to have a business that's really hard to grow or get the word out there about, or it takes huge amounts of time or effort or money to make it all happen. So they're kind of looking for more systematic, planned, predictable ways of growing their business. So there's some of the common elements, which brings us to the core process that we use. So there are 5 stages, and they're built around the first one, which is the who. Then it goes to what, where, how, and when. So the who is your target market, who you're actually focusing on to serve, and what are their challenges and issues and all that sort of stuff. So we're really good at helping you identify that, get clarity, because a lot of people have done a lot of things in their career. And so it's hard to work out where to focus because it's hard to be all things to all people. And so obviously helping so many people, we've kind of worked out ways of narrowing that down or helping people get clarity, even if they may still serve a broader audience than some narrow niche. It's still structuring it in such a way that it's still appealing to the target market. The what are the actual services? Is it consulting? Is it software? Is it a product such as a course or templates and resources? Is it some sort of combination of those or other such things? So it's what is best served for you, your purpose, your ambitions, and also what suits your target market. So it needs to match and align and do so in such a way that you can create a profitable business that you can scale or grow or develop as you wish. Then the where is clearly where are you going to find these customers or clients? So that's the marketing side, the business growth, the business development. And I'll come to it in a moment, but there are 100 different ways you can market a business in the HR space. So I heard one person recently saying that they do radio ads, others do LinkedIn posts, others do Google ads, SEO, public speaking, so there's 100 different things you could do. And I'll come to how we help businesses work out the best ones for them. But then the 4th one is the how. So that's kind of the structural stuff. If it's around team management, then getting clarity on who's doing what and why, and then how you're going to sort of manage what they're up to or leading in such a way that the business growth happens in a nice, predictable, stress-free way. It may also be around the business formation for people who are starting their own business, and it can include the sales elements. So we can do all the marketing and business development we want, but eventually you're going to have to talk to a potential customer or client if you're not in the online space. And then how are you going to communicate and the benefits of working with you and potentially winning that sale, winning that deal. So there's the support around the sales stuff. And then finally, the last of the 5 is the when. So that's around speed and making it happen, and also maintaining momentum, because that is a huge part of how we help a lot of people especially in the mental side of staying strong, because there'll be ups and downs and things like that. People may come with mental blocks or imposter syndrome, a scarcity mindset, things like that. So we're very good at trying to either identify that early or map out ways of supporting people to get through those difficult challenges. And if they're not issues that are applicable to you or people in this case, then the other aspect of the when is how do we accelerate things, make it faster? So maybe we've got a few marketing systems that are working. How do we add fuel to the fire to really accelerate it and make it faster and easier so you're not hustling around doing everything yourself? There must be ways of doing it in a more scalable, methodical process, and that's what we're really good at. So coming back to that, so that the third one, the where, the marketing aspect, as I said, there are elements that are common to everyone. They want great businesses and, potentially good revenue and work-life balance, all these sort of things that can potentially apply to a lot of people. But on the marketing side, what I found over the years is that everyone's different. So they may have different resources. Some may already have a whole bunch of clients and a whole bunch of money in the kitty. There's good revenue and stuff, in which case they can look at doing paid marketing, such as advertising, sponsorships, other things where they're actually paying to play. Others are brand new, starting out and don't have that, the financial backing, let's say, to do that. So you need to look at other methods of marketing. So that's one thing, is around the budget. But then there's actually what are you good at, your strengths, your preferences. So some people love talking, so get out there and give public speaking a go and doing networking and stuff like that. Others, that fills them with dread, in which case they might prefer to do other things like SEO, which is written content or other forms of content for Google to find, or they might do podcasting or LinkedIn posts, LinkedIn messages, email. But certainly over the years, I found that it makes much more sense. It's always much more effective if we build a marketing plan, a simple marketing plan that focuses on what you're good at rather than what everyone says you should do, right? Because that needs to be aligned. You need to do what you enjoy doing, what you're good at, what will actually produce the goods for the business. Get those all aligned, and then that will make everything so much easier, so that when we get to that final stage, that when part, we can add that fuel to the fire. We can really accelerate it. So through the HR Business Accelerator, we've had consulting firms and tech firms that come through that we continue to work with, and we've got them in all areas. So recruitment, generalist HR, employee engagement, compensation and benefits, a really wide range, always in that HR space, and international as well. So the US, UK are usually the main ones because they're just population size, things like that. But certainly other countries around the world, including Australia, thank goodness. But it's a great process and a really helpful thing. In terms of how it actually works, we've structured it in a way that gives you information, but also support. So there's opportunities to ask questions and get unstuck. But then we have a portal where we have all the resources and information. So if you're thinking, all right, we're going to add a new marketing channel, well, there's information on how that marketing channel works, how you need to set it up, even down to the practical stuff of, okay, here's a template you need to use, fill in these blanks, go and use it. We also have a whole bunch of ChatGPT prompts where you can just copy, tweak it slightly for your own specific situation, stick it into ChatGPT, and it'll produce exactly what you need, whether that's marketing content or a certain outreach message, things like that. So we're trying to give you the big picture, but also the practical elements. On top of that, I mentioned that, some people might have mental barriers, blockers, things that slow them down, or some people may not be organized, or some people just want a bit of a push, a bit of support. We've structured that into the program as well. So in the portal, we have online tracking task lists. So you can put in elements there automatically, depending on which marketing method you choose. We'll automatically assign some tasks, which we can then, keep in touch with and track to support you in that way. We've got some automated habits that we think you should be doing according to the different marketing methods and situations, so we can track those as well. It's also not a lot of video. I can't stand doing these huge video courses where you have to sit there for hours and hours and just sit there through videos hoping to get to the good bit. So what we've done is try to focus more on text, templates, resources and stuff you can use really quickly rather than forcing you to sit down and watch video. So I really like that part. But then also, as I mentioned, there's opportunities to ask questions and learn from others, lots of case studies and interaction in that regard. So hugely powerful. We've had some amazing results. At the starting section, you've got people who, as I mentioned, were unclear about what they should do and what should they focus on. And once we've unbottled that, it's like taking the cork out of the bottle and releasing the genie. Just the power is amazing because suddenly they just go for it. Honestly, the business just takes off. Others, we're pretty much just doubling the size of the business in terms of revenue by adding some better marketing methods and streamlining others, maybe canceling or killing off a few marketing methods that were not working, but that were taking up energy. So again, playing to the strengths, working out what works in the industry, and then combining all that stuff to make a plan that works for you and really making that happen. And we've also got people who just want, for instance, work-life balance, the parenting side of things. They don't want to be a huge business. They want a business that matches their old income and gives them great work. It helps them avoid the stuff that they didn't want to used to do in the past, like admin or whatever, get rid of that stuff or outsource it, but provide work-life balance. So it all comes down to what you want. And then we craft a plan around that, both the business plan and the marketing plan, to make it happen in such a way that you're not overwhelmed or feeling out of your comfort zone. And then for people who need a little bit of a push, it's there as well. So, you'll get Ben on your case saying, well, these task lists or these habits, these activities, where are we up to with those? Because until we get that happening, it's not really going to be successful. And so sometimes people just love that, having that prompt, a little bit of a support to make things happen. So I suggest you go check out the HR Business Accelerator. You can find the details on the website, which is getmorehrclients.com/services. So just choose where you are. So that may be either someone starting out, or you might already be running your own solo business. You may be a small to medium consulting firm in the HR space, or you might be a small to medium tech or software business in the HR space. And we've helped all of those companies always with those 5 core process aspects. They just work so well. And because we see so many and help so many companies in the HR space, we see what works, what doesn't work, what you need to do before you do something else, because it's not just a case of doing lots of stuff. Sometimes it's just the order in which you do them. And then obviously you can use templates and resources that we have just to make it a whole lot easier. And to be honest, a little bit more fun, because we like to have a bit of a laugh and just make sure everything's enjoyable. So I say again, go check out the website, getmorehrclients.com/services. and check out the HR Business Accelerator. I hope to see you in there, and I'm very confident we can make a success of your business together. So we'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining us today on A Better HR Business, the podcast that explores the world of HR consulting and HR tech businesses. For show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Remember to subscribe and share the show with any friends who are busy growing a HR business. Thanks, and see you next time.